was a lonely silhouette, needed somebody to show the way. Yeah, I was a heartbeat with no sound till you came around. Yeah, you showed me colors, light in the darkness. You were the only thing I needed. Then we got older, but we stayed the same. Swear that we never lost the flame. Nostalgia, you're an echo in my head. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, nostalgia, don't you ever slip away. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, what if the years turn into gold? The longer we live, yeah, the more we grow. We could be 100 miles apart, but it's never far. Yeah, you show me colors, light in the darkness. You were the only thing I needed. Then we got older, but we stayed the same. Swear that we never lost the flame. No, nostalgia, you're an echo in my head. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, nostalgia, don't you ever slip away. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, nostalgia, don't you ever slip away. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh,
Was it all in vain? My world revolved around you, now it's trapped inside the pain. Maybe I should stay in the dark after you had it to a place too far away. All those crazy thoughts are going through my mind. A part of me I can't escape. Our love was so sublime. It doesn't make no sense if you're not here again. The only one who's gone will be there for me to say. We'll go back to the
Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valhalla Camp Hill Valorant livestream. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big match. So, of course, kind of introduce everyone here before I talk about the storyline of this match. We will be watching this team of Smite, aka Colin or Raptor, Ethan, aka Not That Dumb, Lynn, aka Cerebral Ray, Evie, aka Animal Team, and of course, the man, the myth, Evan, aka Thunder. Now, this is a big match for them, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of storyline going on. For those of you that don't know, in the most recent fall season, this team made it all the way to semifinals, where they met their maker against the Affinity esports team, which is the team that they are playing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a lot on the line for this Smite team. Smite wants to come out, wants to catch them off guard, hit them hard, hit them quick, and ultimately wants to show that when they lost in semifinals, it was purely just a fluke. I got the opportunity to talk to a lot of these players before the match and before everything we're doing right now, of course, and a lot of them said that they're coming hungry, that they want to show this Affinity team that was just a fluke that they won in semifinals, and that this Smite team is no pushover. So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we get the game ready, I will continue to talk about that. One thing that I think we have to talk about is Ethan, or Not That Dumb, now being full-time on the Smite roster. He's had a lot of pressure. He's felt a lot of the pressure stepping up from the Nitro roster to the Smite roster, and so far, he's done well. He's played pretty amazingly. So if he can continue to keep that momentum going, then I think all will go well for him. But he is one of the key factors. He needs to be doing well. And the other two main fraggers that I think are crucial in this team's victory and or defeat are Colin and Evan. We talk about them a lot. These guys are able to change the game at any moment, right? We see Colin top frag typically with smokes. We see Evan be able to pop off at pretty much any character that he plays. And ladies and gentlemen, real quickly, I'm going to interrupt myself. You just saw what I like to call the Valorant wave. A little bit of a tradition here that whenever I live stream, or whenever I cast, I guess I should say, especially the Smite team, that some of the players like to wave up here, up towards me, and I like to wave back. It's a nice little tradition that we have on camera. So, anyways, like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, Evan or Thunder needs to be able to pop off here as well. Not totally sure what role he's going to be able to, or what role he's going to be playing tonight. Excuse me. A little bit more of that Phil character, but either way, it does not matter. He is someone that needs to be able to do well, needs to be able to kind of control the game. We've seen this team play so many times. We've seen them over and over and over again. We know how capable they are, and we know what they can do. So as long as they continue to lock in and handle this Affinity team, I think this is going to kind of set the tone, not only for this winter season, of course, that we are now currently starting with the Winter Swiss being a much shorter season, but of course, when I know that they will come back hungry for the full-length spring season, and of course, they want to join their Smite brethren, or their Nitro brethren, excuse me, in having a banner of their own. Very quickly, we are just waiting for a few more people to get in here. No rush yet. We will be playing Pearl, which is, I don't believe, a map that we've seen on stream. I might be wrong about that. I apologize if I am. But Pearl, a very interesting map. This is a map that people are pretty much 50-50 on. Some of the players love it. Some of the players hate it. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they play it and how their IGL, which is Evie, really kind of takes over that role of IGL. Obviously, she's very comfortable in that role, and she's just as a crucial part of this team as the other three that I talked about, and all of them are. I'm not trying to overshadow anyone, but Evie specifically in that IGL role really kind of helps create the game plan for the rest of her team. And if she is comfortable with that, especially on a map that they don't play a lot, they don't practice a lot, then they're going to be doing extremely well. Luckily, if she remembers, hopefully, she'll have a lot of this team's plays in the back of her mind, right? She's going to know what they're going to want to do and how they're going to want to set up, and she's going to be able to catch those things and take advantage of them as long as she's comfortable with making those calls for her team, which I know she is, ladies and gentlemen. Again, as we just wait a little bit longer here, almost everybody in. Again, I think we're just missing one person at this point, so sorry for the delay a little bit, but I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. I cannot wait to watch some Valorant. Of course, something that I want to talk about real quickly is our post-game interviews. So, of course, we will have some interviews post-game. How many? Obviously, I'm not sure yet. It's something that kind of comes up with on the fly. But as we do get ready for those, of course, you will get to talk to some of the lovely students as they are just coming down from their game and hopefully after a W. So, again, still waiting just for one more here. No panic, though. No rush yet. Luckily, just now hitting 7:30, so no need to really hoist in the belt yet. No need to put the foot down and start to ask questions. But, yeah, as I... excuse me. As I talk a little bit more about that storyline, I know the Affinity team is going to come in here with the mindset of, we beat this team in semifinals. And even though it was a close match, we beat this team in semifinals. We're going to be able to handle them again. I'm hoping that Smite can really kind of hunker down and stand their ground to make sure that they don't let this Affinity team give them a repeat of what happened before. Again, I know how hungry they are, so I know that they want to go. And ladies and gentlemen, looks like we are about to be ready. Looks like we are seeing R's in the chat, so any minute now, and we will be switching over, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I hope you're excited. I'm excited. I cannot wait to watch Val. I love watching this team. I love casting this team, especially in a matchup that, while yes, for the season, everything does not mean too much, of course, because it is the start of the season. Of course, it's nice to be able to come out and set the tone very early and go 1-0. But in a season that has a lot of, or in a match that has a lot of history bound in it, especially with the semifinal loss, we want to see Smite come out and catch a W quick and early. Again, we are seeing some R's in chat. Any second now we will be getting started. I am just waiting on the signal from Coach Ben, which of course we will hear from as well. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go as I get the match started. Again, we are playing Pearl, and we will have to see what characters we are going to be picking. I wouldn't be surprised if we see anything too crazy here. Kind of expecting an Initiator from Evie, Smokes or Duelist from Evan, Smokes or Duelist from Colin, and then, yep, we see Ethan on the Duelist, and we see Ray on the Sentinel, or Lynn, excuse me, Cerebral Ray or Lynn on the Sentinel. Very standard comp for this team. And we see, so a little bit of a plot twist here. We see Evie, she's still on the Initiator, but not on Gecko. We see her play a lot of Gecko. This is something that I know that her and Coach Ben have been working with kind of in the background, kind of in the shadows of her building up the Fade gameplay and being able to play her as well. So just waiting for Colin to hover to get his final pick. Looks like we are going to see... Looks like he's hovering some Smokes. We could see a second Duelist. Looks like he's going to try and get Evan to go second Duelist. Let's see what they're talking about. Obviously, we can't hear their comms or anything, but I'm very interested to know what they're talking about right now. Potentially could go with a double Smoke comp. We've seen it before. Coach Ben has pulled it out before. And there we see Evie switch to the Gecko. Nope, looks like she's going to go back to the Fade. No one's locked in yet, but they are running out of time with only 8 seconds left. Are we going to see double Smokes here? And Evan's going to lock. Yep, we are correct. We are going to see the double Smoke comp. Again, this is something we've seen before from Coach Ben, something that I know he's been methodically kind of working on. He's taking what he's seen from other coaches in the past. So very interesting to see how on a map like Pearl, they can really control this map with the double Smokes and have full range of that. Looks like from Affinity's team, we see the Breach, the Deadlock, the Fade, the Jet, and the Astra. Astra being a very interesting pick. Obviously, we do not see her very much at all. So a little bit more of a question mark there as to what that is going to be able to do. But as we get going here, ladies and gentlemen, going to start off by watching the GOAT, Evan Thunder. Let's see what he does. This is a man that wants to get the game started, wants to start hot, and wants to set the tone early. And it won't surprise me out of anything we see here, depending on what we do see. And looks like we are just setting up here. Looks like we're going to try to take some early mid control, which mid being very important on this map. Having talked to the players about this map in the past, I know that a lot of them like to play mid, like to have that control. Looks like we have 2 of them sitting mid just to make sure that they are not going to get pushed very quickly. We're going to see Ethan very quickly take a peek through. Looks like he's going to find one. try to back up. We're going to see here a regroup. Looks like, again, we do see some mid control come through from Affinity. Essentially, see if we can get a couple picks. We see some shots coming through. Evan there with a really good smoke. Make him slow down. He's got A completely smoked off right now. Oh, tries to jump peek. Does get caught out in the timing a little bit. Takes a lot of damage. Luckily now his team knows that he's at A. Oh, but Evan completely stuck right now. Ethan going down. See if Evan can find the pick here. Now, unfortunately, gets caught out himself. Waiting for the team to rotate fully here. We're going to go to Colin. Let's see what Colin can do. Playing with Lynn. They can play this very well as long as they play together. Taking their time. We're going to see Spike go down. Evie's going to get one there as we switch to her. That's a good way to start the round. Colin's going to get one as well. We're going to see some Yuto come through. They need to play this together as they are equal, but still down a little bit health-wise, I would imagine. Evie is not going to be able to find the other fade, but a lot of intel comes through for her team. Now, unfortunately, their good use of abilities. Affinity playing very well together. Lynn is going to clean up the other fade. Going to wall herself off and see if she can stick. Has to avoid the grenade there and going to remove the net so she can move. And unfortunately, Affinity going to take round one. Overall, a very great round from Affinity. They played very well. Obviously, we see very good usage of abilities and team play together right there. A little unfortunate from Evan from Thunder. Gets kind of stuck in an awkward position. He can't move. Kind of pinched off through mid and through main on A. And unfortunately, just gets eliminated pretty quickly. Doesn't get a kill, unfortunately. So we see here, looks like we're going to give up a little bit more of that mid control, not be too aggressive with it this time. We are going to have a couple peeks mid. We're going to find Evan, who is going to be one of these people that's going to peek mid. Looks like he could swing with Ethan here. And Ethan going to go down quick. That is not a great way to start off a round. Evan also going to go down quick. A 3v5. Affinity is feeling themselves right now. Evie here on a little bit of a flying through mid. It could potentially catch that Jet off guard if she was by herself. Has been hitting crazy shots though. Evie does find the breach. Can she find the Jet? Unfortunately not. Jet popping off this round with the 3-piece. Just Colin and Lynn left, and they need to play together. Colin not going to be able to find the Astra. Just Lynn left. Let's see what she can do. She does find the Jet, but unfortunately goes down to the Astra as well. Affinity setting very early control of this game. Smite needs to do something quickly to figure it out. Hopefully, on a little bit more of a forced buy round, they're going to be able to figure something out. As we see almost full buys come through from everyone. The only person that's not going to full buy is Colin. Looks like we might start to half buy here a little bit as well. Some people forcing, some people half buying. And it looks like we are going to see the full rotate to the half buy. Potentially the IGL Evie making that call. She's not liking the full buy, the force. Looks like Evan's still going to go mid. He is going to kind of sit here with the judge. See if he can catch anybody off. Looks like he's going to rotate a little bit. Looks like we see some presence on B. We're going to switch to B and see if we can find anyone. We do see some smokes. We see the Astra bubble there as well. Evie tries to take a couple but gets eliminated pretty quickly. She's caught out in a 2v1 scenario. Ethan found one though with the shotgun. And a quick 2. Ethan going down and Colin going down as well. Just Lynn and Evan left. Looks like Evan is in the fight. Gonna get eliminated. Just Lynn left. Lynn does find the spray on the Jet. That's a really good kill. Just been feeling herself, so anything to cool her down is very useful. See what Lynn can do here. Not out of it by any means. She's gonna find a couple shots on the breach. Does look like she hit a good few of them. She might get rotate here, switch her position. Does see the fade wall there. Or actually, excuse me, I think that's the deadlock wall. We see some smokes come through. Not seeing anybody quite yet. She saw fade. And looks like we are just going to see a save round come through from Lynn. Unfortunately, not even able to get out of it. Full save from the breach, the deadlock, and the fade as they are able to escape that explosion. I would anticipate we're going to see some force buys this round. Obviously, with that half buy, having a little bit more money, being able to afford it a little bit more if we need to full buy, and we see full buys coming through for everybody. someone needs to set the game here. Someone that, actually both the players that I really harped on, Evan and Colin, both 0-3 and 1-3. So those guys really need to step it up. Those guys really need to find a couple easy kills, potentially start playing with their teammates so that way they can find them and get their momentum and egos through properly. Gonna find Colin here. No pressure B yet. Could potentially see some pressure mid. Looks like Evan gonna find some shots. We see the jet dash come through. There's the smoke. Evan's gonna find a couple feet shots. Doesn't get a kill though. Gonna continue to shoot through his smoke. And we see Evie take down the jet. That's a big loss for Affinity. That's one of their main players that has been popping off every round so far. Let's see if they can continue to do it. Looks like Evie here is going to be on the full flank. So could potentially find. Evie finds another one as I say it. And unfortunately does go down. But still having advantage. Lynn picks up one as well.
One enemy remaining.
You're going to see Lynn throw her slow. Evan finding one. A 4v1. They got to be feeling better about this round. Let's see if they're going to find him. Looks like they're looking for her. They want to find her. They don't even want the deadlock to be able to plant. Evan's going to find it and get the dink. Much better round from Smite. A round that they very much needed to get themselves back into it, to help the momentum and egos start to go back in their favor. And if we take a look at the difference that just that round caused, we see Evan getting 2 kills in that round. Colin unfortunately not being able to find any, but Evie and Lynn being able to find a couple as well to help them out. So still anyone's game, obviously only down 2 rounds. Anyone can do it at this point. Hopefully Smite will be able to use this forward momentum to continue to get some early wins. Looks like we see potentially some pressure on B site. We're going to see Colin here use some smokes. Try to buy his team some time. Ethan might peek early here. I see the shield come through. Does see the jet dash. Unable to find her though through the smokes. He needs to be careful about the shots coming through. Very grouped up. No one even sees the Astra on the flank. She's going to get 3. Evan stuck in the deadlock. Oh, Lynn is able to find one, but just a lot of pressure on her at this point. Let's see if she can do anything here to get her team back into it. And the Astra with the 4K. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. First, it was the jet, and the Astra out of nowhere says, "Don't forget about me. I'm here too." Smite really needing to switch something up here, really needing to do something here. Obviously, we love the 1-round win, but if we're only going to win one round, it's just not good enough. Smite need to regroup. We're going to see the mid play from Ethan this time. He's going to hold the area with the stinger. Looks like we're going to see half buys as well. Not having a lot of money as we haven't won a lot of rounds. Looks like we might see some pressure B. I don't know if that was Colin's smoke or if that was the enemies. I think it was the enemies. We're going to switch to Colin as he's the closest. Yep, we're going to see the Astra bubble come through. Colin going to use some smokes here. Oh, wow. Ethan goes down quick. We didn't even get to see it. Evan trying to find a couple shots. Putting a little bit of a cheeky angle. We're going to see the Astra bubble go down. Colin unfortunately missing his shots. And the slow come through on Evan. Doesn't die. Evie finding a good flank, though. Is able to get a couple. We're going to see the res come through on Colin, but unfortunately instantly dead afterwards. In a very tough spot right now. Evan able to find a little bit of sight control, but does quickly go down. And then Lynn gonna follow. Ladies and gentlemen, a timeout has been initiated by Smite. I know Coach Ben is in their ears right now, talking to them, telling them to calm down, telling them to play their game, right? We've seen a lot of early domination come through from this Affinity team. We've seen their Jet, we've seen their Astra. It seems like overall this is a very well-rounded team. But Smite team is also very well-rounded. If they can just hunker down and find it, I know they can come back and get themselves back into this game. One of the things that I didn't really get to talk about during the intro and the storylining was the break. You know, obviously, Valorant's recently going on a pretty big break with Christmas and New Year's and all the holiday stuff going around. So who knows how much these kids have really been playing, or how much the students have really been playing the game. Unfortunately, we might be seeing it here, where potentially and Affinities, they're hot, they're ready to go, they're coming out firing, and Smite, while I'm not saying that they're not ready to go, you know, they're just called out a little bit. Maybe they've been taking a little bit of break, maybe they've been playing other games, and it is showing a little bit right now. Let's hope they can do something here to get themselves back into it. We do not want to see quick domination, especially on a team that is favored in defense, which Smite is. Looks like we're going to have Evan sit mid. Playing very slow. We also see Evie kind of sitting mid as well. We hear the ult come through on Lynn. Let's see if Lynn can find one. Unfortunately, not able to find the Jet. Does get some good damage on her, though. Colin gonna go down as well. Evan gonna find one. Ethan gonna find one. He's a 3v3 right now. Smite not out of this by any means. They need to regroup, though. They need to calm down. You see some abilities come through. Evan gonna take some shots through some smokes, through the wall. Really doing his best to cover everywhere as he's gonna try and destroy this wall. And unfortunately, a quick 2. Efi just by herself and can't deal with 3 people shooting her at the same time. Very unfortunate, kind of heartbreaking from what we're seeing from the Smite team. I know Coach Ben has a little bit of his own vendetta, wanting to get some revenge on the Affinity team, wanting to show that they are not the team that they faced in the semifinals a couple weeks ago, the team that they lost to. Hopefully, they can do something. Excuse me, we see Evan go down quick. I was taking a drink of my water. We're going to see Ethan in a gunfight with the Astra. Let's see if he can find her. Going to use some abilities here. He's going to shield himself. And unfortunately, the Astra just so good. Evie going to catch the Jet from behind. Not able to get the kill. Completely whiffs, unfortunately, with the Stinger. And we see Lynn go down as well from the Astra. Just Colin left. Let's see if he can even find one. Unfortunately, he's just going to get triple swung. And Smite needs to do something. We are almost at the halftime. I know Coach Ben is not satisfied with how this team is playing. I know the players themselves are not satisfied with how they are playing. They are a much closer team than what we are seeing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember, semifinals was very close. I believe we went to all 3 games in that semifinals. All 3, I believe, being very close. I vaguely remember it. So Smite needs to figure it out, and quickly. Unfortunately, there's just no other way to say it other than they need to figure it out. Evan going to take an early gunfight and is going to go down to the Astra. Affinity has our number right now. Looks like we're going to see some A presence. Currently watching Ethan. We're going to see the ult here. He's not going to find anyone. He is going to find the Jet, though. Does take a little bit of damage, but is able to get out. Going to recycle his position here. Still only a 3v4, still very winnable. Evie and Colin need to play together, though, as we see the team kind of group up here on A site. Luckily, Lynn's wall is still there, I'm not sure. And there it goes, finally broken completely now. We're going to see some abilities come through, expecting a little bit of a rotate, potentially going to B site. I anticipate that Smite needs to stay together here. Colin doing a great job at finding the Asher in the 1v1. Colin and Ethan playing together. Good friends in real life. Good friends in the game, too. They need to use this chemistry to their advantage. Fortunately, the fade ability getting them, blinding them a little bit. We're going to see a lot of ability usage come through. Unfortunately, very quick deaths. Colin able to get the res, though. In a 2v1, they just need to find... And Colin gonna pick up the kill as we were blinded from Evie's perspective. That is what Smite needed. Smite need to use this momentum, need to capitalize on it. Any round they can win at this point, they need to be doing so. We see 3 ults on Affinity, 2 from Smite. Evan's ult, we know he likes to hold on to it. We know he likes to be pretty particular with how he uses that ult. We never know what we're going to see from the Omen, aka Evan's ult. So, will we see it? It's very possible. Might we not see it? Also very possible. But we do see Evie's ult as we are currently watching her. It looks like those two are going to play mid together. Watch for the mid presence. Evan could potentially see a couple here. We're going to find him, and he's going to go down. Both of them are going to go down so quick. I didn't even have time to find them. Colin and Ethan playing together. Then doing a good job making sure she's not caught out. Only having the classic, though, very quickly gets eliminated. Not much you can do with the classic. Colin finds the Astra, though. Let's see if he can help his team get back into it. Colin finding another. Colin finds a third. Colin, unfortunately there, not much he can do, running out of time with Spike. Affinity played that very well. Colin doing his absolute best again, finding the 3K to hopefully give his team any chance of getting back in it, taking as much momentum as he can, taking as much of Affinity's funds as he can right before the half. We've seen the struggle that Smite has faced all game, struggling with money, struggling to be able to buy anything. We see here kind of an awkward half-ish buy. We see a lot of Guardians. We see a couple classics coming out. That's never what you want to see. We're going to see Evan push up in the mid. Very surprising. He only has the classic, and truth be told, he's been getting kind of dominated mid. He's going to get flashed here from the breach. Evie, though, going to find the Astra very quickly. That's a good kill for her. Evan's still playing very patient, not wanting to rush. Evie finding a quick 2 before she gets eliminated. Evan might be able to find a little bit of a flank here. He's going to be able to pick up a Phantom. He's looking for anyone that he can find. Looks like they're going to rotate to A. We're going to see Ethan go down quick. Just Evan and Colin left. Evan, a little bit of a flank. We're going to see Evan use his teleport there. Get himself in a good position. He's going to take down the breach. That's a great kill, making it a 2v2. We've seen Colin pop off just like last round. Hopefully he's still got that in him. We're going to see Colin break the wall. See a lot of util usage. Unfortunately not able to teleport out of it. Can Colin break it? He does. Evan still unfortunately eliminated, and Colin taken out very shortly as well. Affinity playing so well, playing out of their minds. I'm kind of lost for words, you know. Again, talking to the team, talking to the Smite team, the bit that I did before this match, I knew they were coming out hungry, and it's not that I don't think that they are hungry. I absolutely think they are. I think that they are getting bested. Unfortunately, that's just the truth be told. There's no nice way to say it. There's no other way to say it. We saw much closer matches in the semifinals. I think that break has really hurt the Smite team. I think a lot of people are playing. It looks like we're going to see the Astra ult come through. Looks like Ethan and Evan are going to try and get out of it very quickly. They're right back into it, though. Evie going to go down quick. Colin and Ethan going to go down quick as well. Just Evan and Lynn. Looks like Lynn going to take a couple shots here. Lynn rushed by 2, and Evan going to go down as well. The nice thing about this for Smite, though, is we are now in a new half. We are now currently attacking. So this could be the chance we need to get ourselves back into it, switch the momentum back into our shoes, back into our favor. Let's see what Smite can do. We anticipate some game-changing plays here from Smite. Looks like Evan's going to be leading the way on the smoke. He's going to find the Astra. Colin there to provide some backup as well. He's going to get the heals from Lynn. They're going to try and rush down this B side. Unfortunately, they had to destroy the wall. The net's going to get quite a few of them as well. Going to watch the flank. Playing very well, playing together, which is what they need to do. Unfortunately, Fade going to find one. Colin going to pick her up, though. Officially on to site. They need to clear as much of it as they can. Don't think anyone has checked elbow yet. Evie is going to plant. Elbow has been cleared now. See some breach Uto come through. Colin gets a lot of shots through on him. Only has 9 health left. Evie holding a very good angle here. Gonna find the Jet. What a good one-tap. What a good second one-tap from Evie. And Lynn gonna have her back. Much better from Smite. This is what they needed to do all game. We see a little bit of forcing some half buys here, feeling good about their situation right now, wanting to make sure that they have and keep the advantage and that momentum in their favor as they almost need to win out. Looks like we're going to go through mid to A this time. Again, seeing Evan, seeing Evie lead the charge. See a lot of Uto come through. Colin going to find one, then quickly get picked off from the Astra. Still a 4v4. No need to panic. No need to rush yet. We're going to see Spike go down very quickly, which is good. That puts a lot of pressure on the Affinity team. Evie going to find the Astra. What a flick from her. Going to find another. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, they have turned it on. Evan and Evie dropping a very quick 2 kills each. Taking a quick look at the scoreboard. Now we see Smite start to be a little bit more comfortable, start to be able to buy a little bit more as they have a lot more money. They are in control of this attack so far. Again, someone that we talked about, we knew he was going to be facing a lot of pressure, and we see it. Ethan, 3-11. That's not where you want to be, especially as the duelist of the team. Luckily for him, he's got a lot of good players around him, but hopefully he's able to find some more kills and get himself back into it. Finding the Astra, unable to find the kill, though. Eventually find her. Breach is gonna find, or Evan's gonna find the breach. Colin's gonna go down the Astra. Ethan's gonna go down the Astra. Finally gonna clean up the Astra kill. Gonna switch to the Phantom here from Evan. Still a 3v3. Oh my gosh, the flank coming through. And unfortunately, Evie, doing her absolute best, is almost able to get him, but cannot. We saw a 3 flank come through. I think caught Smite a little off guard. No need to panic. No need to worry yet. They still have some time. They still can afford to lose the last round before they give up the win. Obviously adding some more pressure onto Smite. They don't have that level of comfort anymore. They don't have as much of that gap as they did before last round. Need to be even cleaner from now on. We're going to see a lot of util usage come through from Evie. We're going to see the breach try and clear a good section of mid. Ethan going to try and take a really greedy peek. Doesn't find anyone. Luckily doesn't die though. Doesn't take any damage. We're going to see B. We're going to see Evan lead the way. Doesn't look like anyone appears to be B. At least not yet. We're going to see some smokes come through. Evan is able to find the Astra. That is a great kill for him. Evie able to find the Jet. That is another great kill. Evie able to find a second. Evan able to find one. Just a 4v1. Smite got to be feeling good. Let's see, and Evan can find it with the 3K. Got to be feeling much better about themselves. We see full buys come through from everybody. Again, Ethan still being only on 3 kills. I know that's not where he wants to be. He's got to turn it on and he's got to be quick. Looks like we're going to see potentially an A push here. A little bit of mid control. We're going to see the Astra smoke come up. Looks like Evan and Colin are just going to decide against it. Colin going to hold his ground a little bit. Take some shots through the smoke. Ethan saw someone and is able to pick up the kill. That's what he needs. We're going to see Plant come through. Evan was taken out. Still have the advantage being in a 3v4 scenario. E trying to find anyone coming from B. Colin watching the full flank. You can see the Astra all come through. Heathen sees all 3 of them. He knows where they are. Evie finds one. Does very quickly get eliminated by herself. Lynn and Ethan, shoulder to shoulder. They're going to be able to take out the Jet and the deadlock. Very good kills from Lynn. I know Smite got to be wishing they played like this all game. Got to be wishing that they didn't have to absolutely grind out these wins to get them. We saw Evan there on the op for a second. Oh man, would I have loved to have seen that, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, he does decide to sell it and buy a little bit more of a traditional Vandal. Looks like we're going to see a full push through to B. Smoking it off. A lot of util usage coming through. A couple ults as well. I think Evan's going to go through his own smoke. Doesn't find anybody, at least not quite yet. He's going to find the deadlock, though, on the rotate. Jet able to find it quick, too. Luckily, Lynn able to take her down, get her out of that ult. Evan, what a great pick. Couple more coming from that area. We're going to see the ISO shield come through. See if Ethan can find a couple. Evan and Ethan both shooting through the smoke. Affinity need to make a play, and they need to do it quickly. Ethan going to shoot the shorty through the smoke, potentially find a couple. Gonna get smoked off himself here. He's going to back up. He's going to find one through the wall. Unfortunately caught out in a reload. I think Evan, though, just going to be able to hold him where he's at. Between Evan and Lynn, not anywhere much where he can go. And it looks like the breach is going to decide just to save. Both Evan and Lynn saving as well, trying to get as far away as he can. Evan might actually try and find the kill here. And unfortunately, he is the one that gets eliminated. That's got to hurt. Luckily, they've been on a bit of a winning streak, so they can afford it. And we are going to see a timeout come through for Affinity. Got to be shaking in their boots a little bit. Got to be a little scared at this point. Smite has cleaned it up, has done it exactly when they needed to. When the game on the line, they've turned it on. They are maybe not exactly where they want to be, but getting closer and closer to that point. Chugging along, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing the Smite that we know, that we expect, and that we love. I know Coach Ben is in their ears right now with the timeout, giving them any last-minute pieces of advice that he can, making sure that they are aware that this is still their game. They are still very much in control. They've had all the momentum in their attacking half, and if they can continue to play like this, they will turn around, and they will come back and win. We see Coach Ben talking a lot about playing together as a unit, playing together as a team or a group. And this is something that we didn't see as much on defense, but we're seeing a lot more on attack. We're seeing them be very much aware of each other and each other's positions, making sure that they are using their util together, making sure that they're peeking together, playing much better overall as a team. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of mid to A pathing here. Wouldn't that surprise me if we don't see Evan lead the way? And here he goes, ladies and gentlemen. The Jet is able to find him. Breach is going to stun Evan. Doesn't peek out, though. Ethan able to find the fade. That's a good kill for him. Ethan able to find the breach. That's a great way to start the round for him. As they play together and clear as much as possible. We see a lot of util usage come through. We need to watch the flank though. And Evan watches it and finds the Jet. That's a great kill. Unfortunately, Ethan is going to go down. We see Evie watching, looking right where his body was. We're going to see Evan go down as well. We know they're split up. They cannot play together. Smite needs to play this well, though. They do not have the luxury of giving up this round. Evie going to do a great angle hold to find the Astra. Unfortunately, going to go down to the fade, or deadlock, excuse me, shortly after. But Lynn going to clean up the deadlock. A great win on the side of Smite, especially fresh after the timeout. They got to be feeling good. Momentum in their favor. They need to keep this up, though. Looks like I have potentially confirmation that the Nitro game just concluded. I obviously do not know what their score is, but I believe that they did a very good job. They were playing a very hard team, so very proud of how they have done this past season and currently starting off this season against a top-rated team. As we now get back to the Smite game, looks like we're seeing very similar pathing. Ethan potentially splitting off a little bit, trying to hold a flank position. Evan's still going to lead the way. We're going to see some smokes, see some blinds come through, see some util usage from the opposing fade. A lot of shots flying through. Good dink on the deadlock from Evan. And we see two other kills, come through. Currently a 5v2. We believe we have site control. All we need to do is plant spike, and there it goes. As long as Smite plays this very well, they should be able to hold it Ethan gonna find a third. That's his third for this round. A great job from Ethan getting himself back into the game. And Evan, what a flick and what a dink. This, as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Smite we know, we expect, and we love. So we see the love here, excuse me, get shared a bit more on the front of kills. Everyone doing their role, everyone making sure that they are involved in the fights, in the game, and by any means are not out of it. Looks like we're gonna go along with B here, running it down quick. See a lot of util usage come out. They want to take control of this site quickly. We're gonna see Evan here teleport into the smokes. Isn't able to find anyone quite yet. Gonna hold this little cubby area in between the two smokes. Colin finding one. What a great kill from Colin. Let's go to Colin real quickly. Let's see what angle he's holding. Evan is able to find one in that little cubby. Evan quickly eliminated though. We could anticipate Colin gonna hold that angle. Looks like he's gonna smoke it off. Fortunately, Ethan there getting eliminated. Sees the breach there. Has to be aware. Fade v Fade. Does find a couple shots on the deadlock. Is able to find the kill. Breach able to find Lynn though. Colin caught out here. Does find one, does find two with the 4K from Colin, ladies and gentlemen. And that is exactly the kind of round that we needed to see from Colin to make sure that he's back in this game. To 11, Smite has absolutely done their hardest work to bring this back, to make this a single round game. Looks like we're going to see a mid potentially go across to A. Playing very slow. Not wanting to put too much pressure on themselves though. With how they've been playing too, Smite's been playing very quick. Slowing down could really startle and kind of shake this Affinity team. We're gonna see. Oh wow, what a great 2K from the Jet there. Game recognizes game. Gotta respect the quick 2K. It's like we're gonna see the ult come through here. Gonna revive Evan. Needing to take their time. We see the Astra smokes come through. Doing their best to play together. Evie kind of by herself right now. Going on a little bit of a flank. We're going to find her. Let's see if she can find anyone. Does find the breach. And she is able to get the kill. Unfortunately, Evan going down quickly after she finds the breach kill.
Face your fear.
We hear the fade all come through from the enemy team. From the Affinity team. Colin, excuse me, finding the Jet. Evie on the flank finding the deadlock. And Colin finding the fade, a 3v1 on the flank. They just need to play smart here, and they can win this round and make it tied. Colin looks like he's feeling good about himself. He's going to hold the angle where she's coming from. Unfortunately, isn't able to get the kill, but Colin has the ult. Going to get chased. Unfortunately, they don't double peek in time. Lynn just going to back up. I do not think Asher has enough time to get the spike down. And is A going to be able to clean up the round? Great job there from Lynn. Good awareness. That's what we want to see from her. Ladies and gentlemen, just as we have talked about it, this is anybody's game. Currently 11 v 11. We could see overtime just like we saw in the semifinals. You want to talk about storylining, ladies and gentlemen. You want to talk about scripting. I don't think there could have been a better storyline and a better script for this match, for this Smite team. Coming back from 2-11 down to absolutely rattling Affinity to making it 11 v 11. Or 11-11, excuse me, not 11v11. We see it back to a little bit more of that quick, aggressive play style as we see Ethan here. Ethan has the ult. We could potentially see it this round. We're going to see the wall come through on for Lynn as she's going to find the plant. They have site control right now and spike down. Still a 5v5. No need to panic. Ethan does get a couple shots on him, but is able to survive. No need to panic yet. We're going to see Lynn heal him back up to 100. Just no shield. He's got a full reset here. Watch flank. And they're going to back up hard. Making sure that they can see that spike. Evan going to find one. Colin going to try and find. Does not. Jet going to go down. Breach. Evie finding a couple very quick kills, going back and forth, back and forth. And Evie finding the final kill on Breach for her 3K as the spike explodes. Ladies and gentlemen, 12-11. All Smite needs to do is win this round. And they have just pulled off the craziest, I don't want to call it a reverse sweep because technically it's not a reverse sweep, but the craziest comeback I think I've ever witnessed in Valorant. We anticipate a very similar style here. And looks like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to do the same thing again. Jet taking down Evan very quickly and unfortunately unable to find the kill. That's okay. Smite here, being very comfortable, is able to give up this round even if they don't want to. Looks like we're going to see a full rotate. Honestly, a little surprised that we're seeing the same thing, the exact same thing from Smite. Again, kind of surprised we didn't see a quick rush down A through mid. That has also been proven to be very successful for them. Looks like we're going to see a full rotate to main A here. We're going to see some shots come through. Ethan still has the ult. Looks like we are going to see it. I think he finds the Jet. Let's see if he can find it. Jet unfortunately eliminated Ethan in the ult. Spike is down. Colin is in a tricky situation. And we see the deadlock all come through and find Colin. $12-12, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what, we are in overtime. Guaranteed. We are back to defending. Smite needs to be able to close out a win on defense so they can hopefully win a second round on their much more attack favored side on this map. And this is where Coach Ben, who I know, he's been grinding, he's been working in stuff in the silence, he's been cooking up some strategies where he can really show off his ability here to absolutely take control over this team and their strategy and throw things at our competition that they are just not expecting to witness, ladies and gentlemen. We see very quickly some come through mid. We see Evan find one. Unfortunately, there quickly eliminated himself. Gonna see if we can find the Jet. See if the odds can be turned into Smite's favor. And that's what they need right now. Ethan and Evie holding angles in mid, making sure no one can push through it. Ethan's gonna clear into their spawn. Gonna play very slowly. Lynn finding one. That's a great kill from Lynn. Let's see if she can find the other. She does. Evie finding one as well. It's a 3v1. Lynn gonna heal herself. Colin right there with her. Unfortunately, Ethan gonna go down. Unable to find the break. Colin is able to find the kill. And he's gonna have the defuse. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't lie. I was shaking in my own boots right there a little bit. I was afraid that when Colin did get broken, he wasn't gonna have time to react, but he does. And he clutches it up for his team. Colin and Lynn absolutely came through clutch to clean up that round. And now all Smite needs to do is win, and they are going to win this match. Ladies and gentlemen, I know how stressful this must be for these students. My heart's beating heavy for them. I know the amount of pressure and stress that they have to be feeling right now, but they can do this. They have proved, especially this whole game, that they are not out of it by any means, that no matter the deficit, they are able to prove themselves. We see here a little bit of a split. Evie potentially going to make some noise A. She's going to back up. We see Ethan as well going through mid. Unable to find any kills, but not eliminated himself yet. And 2 there to counter Ethan's push. Looks like we might get plant down. We're going to see the wall come through. Spike not down yet. And there it goes. Easy finding one, making it even 4v4 with Spike down. Smite's got to be feeling good. They have control of the site as long as they don't give it up. The odds are in their favor. Colin holding a little bit here of an aggressive angle, especially when his team is backing up. Let's see the deadlock wall come through. Evan gonna find the Astra. Unfortunately, Colin caught out, jump scared a little bit right there, but no need to panic. Still a 3v3. Evan's gonna find another to keep the advantage in Smite's favor. Unfortunately, gonna go down to the breach. Unfortunately, Evie goes down to the breach as well. Lynn finds the, and Lynn clutches it up for her team with the quick 2K. What a way to end the game from Lynn, and what an absolutely insane game from Affinity, from Smite. This was one of the best matches I've got to witness in a long time. One of the craziest comebacks, and ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to get to pick these players' minds and talk about what they were going through at the end of that match. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's start to get some people up here for the interviews. It looks like I am going to have my IGL come up first. My IGL is going to come up first. And here she comes. Evie, talk to me a little bit about that match. What was going through your mind right there?
100% stress. For sure, because I think it was 3-9 by the half.
Yeah, it was like 9-2,
like
something like that. Yep.
Oh my gosh, stress. I think I'm still shaking a little bit. Not gonna lie.
I was up here shaking for you guys,
bro. Absolute stress, but everyone kept their cool even though we were down so many rounds, and I think that would helped the most. We just had that comeback. Everyone was so locked in and so ready for this win.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys go into the half, you start to win a couple rounds, you guys start to get that momentum. What are you doing as IGL to make sure that everyone is keeping their cool and that they're still locked in?
For sure, Evan was actually our IGL tonight.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I won't take that credit. Yeah. But everyone was using their comms really well, and we were all playing really together, and we were definitely trading a lot better than we normally do.
Yeah, we saw in one of the timeouts, I believe the second one, right? We saw, I overheard, the stream did not overhear, but we overheard Coach Ben talk a lot about playing together, playing as a team, and you guys did that really well tonight. What was different from tonight than in past matches where you guys have kind of struggled with that a little bit?
I think our game plans were a lot better. Everyone was on point with their aim tonight, honestly. We were hitting shots, and I think we were definitely trading a lot better. Our plans were more put together than they normally are. We were pushing sites together, faking, pushing 1-1s. Like, we were making sure we got the person that we were after.
Yeah, absolutely. And very quickly, talk to me a little bit. You know, we got to give Lynn the credit. She clutched up that 2K.
Oh my gosh.
What was your reaction right there at the end of that last round?
I wanted to give her a huge hug. Oh my gosh. Bro, my stress levels were through the roof. But first of all, it was all excitement. We were like, we actually won. Like, because to be honest, we weren't expecting, like, we had our hopes, but like, when you go to a 3v9 and you got, like, we kind of got rolled on defense.
Absolutely.
And when you go into overtime, stress. And because I peeked and whiffed, I was like, oh Lord, this might have been my bad. Right?
No, absolutely. All of you guys played phenomenal, and we saw a much more, especially from you, we saw a much more confident, calm play style that obviously we love to see. Well, thank you so much for your time up here.
Of course, thank you.
And I'll let you get back and celebrate and hopefully calm down a little bit after your hard-fought victory.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I have to correct myself now. My IGL, who is my IGL for Rocket League as well, Evan, aka Thunder. Evan, talk to me a little bit about how it feels to absolutely have an insane comeback like that.
I mean, that was just, I couldn't believe it. I thought everybody was really sad going into the second half, and I thought to myself, I was like, I don't want to lose again. Mm-hmm. So I decided that I was going to take charge and decide we're just going to monkey mid every round.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was something that I actually asked Evie because I thought she was IGLing, but I was told that you were. So you guys go into that halftime, right? You go down, what was it, like 9-2 or something. What are you saying to make sure that your team is focused, that they're not, beating themselves up, keeping that mental up so that way you guys can come back and eventually win that game?
I was just talking about being positive as much as possible, clearing comms because sometimes we were getting a little out of hand. But overall, I mean, everybody had a pretty good mental throughout the whole thing. Besides, like, really close to the end of the first half, it was a little rough there, but at the end, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, and we saw you a little bit kind of start a little slow. Obviously, you being a very more momentum-based player, what does it mean for you to start a little bit slower and then be able to build your way up through where towards the end of the game we saw 2, 3, 4 kills around?
It's knowing that I can get the kills. It's just being able to lock in and actually, remember how to shoot my gun. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I just kind of forget.
Of course.
I'm just like, all right, I don't know how to play the game. And then the one round you saw, I got 2. And then I just forgot how to play the game for a couple more rounds. And then I eventually picked it back up, and I figured out what I was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to keep you up here too long, so congratulations. Great win for you guys tonight. Obviously, it was a great match to watch. I'm so happy we got to watch it, and I'll let you go celebrate and hopefully calm down a little bit with your teammates. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and now finally, the Clutch Queen, I think, is going to be her new nickname. Lynn, I want to ask about it right at the very end. We saw you clutch that final round to win it for your team. What was going through your mind in that moment?
I was kind of stressing out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still shaking. I got the nerves.
Of course, yep.
Yeah. My aim was kind of shaky that game. I played a little bit earlier. And my aim was a lot better, but I think like being in this and like feeling like a lot of stress from it being the game, like the team that we lost to in semifinals, it like really stressed me out, and I was like, okay, I need to be a lot better. My mental needs to be a lot better, and so I really locked in. And so when it was like I realized it was a 1v2, and I already knew I could have dinked them a little bit, and I was like, hopefully I could just dink one of them and they die. And so I was like, okay, it was a perfect situation. He had barely halved it yet, and so I actually had a decent amount of time before he would be fully diffused. And I was like, the moment that I was able to shoot those shots on breach, I was like, thank the Lord. But I was really stressing out.
Yeah, and we saw, so that wasn't even the only clutch you had that game. We saw, I think, another one, if not 2. So you kind of taking that role a little bit of a slower player. What does that mean as the Sentinel role to know that you are sometimes put in those positions and that you need to be able to come through for them?
Well, I mean, I've been a Sentinel main basically since I started playing. I've been a Sage main since like day one. I've been playing Sage all the time, and I'm so used to playing like that. It's kind of like common, but knowing that I actually have a purpose and it's not just me sitting on a site waiting for them to come and then rotating eventually once they're fully on site and maybe even starting to plan already. Like just knowing that I have a use and that I'm able to clutch in those kind of situations and being able to, show that I can support my team, even if it's like a stressful situation. It feels a lot like I feel a lot more confident in my skills that way.
Yeah, so I asked your IGL and Evie the same question. I want to ask your opinion as well.
Yeah.
We saw there you guys went down, I believe, a 9-2 or something. Switching into halftime. What are you doing specifically to make sure that you're locked in, that you're putting all that behind you, now you're ready to go on the attack side?
Yeah, I definitely try and listen a lot to my team, and I tend to, because I'm a Sentinel main, I tend to pay a lot of attention to the mini-map when I'm not like in a stressful situation where I know that there's an enemy nearby. It actually kind of becomes my downfall sometimes because I'm not paying attention too much to what's on my screen, and like an enemy will come up and I'm looking at the mini-map and they're like killing me. But like I have a really good sense of like what's going on anywhere in the map at all times. It's just something I've adapted over time, and just knowing that I'm paying attention to what's going on, and then I'm still staying with my team, and I'm able to play, and I'm able to kind of rush up to site and plant quickly, while also knowing that I'm safe with my team. Like it's a lot better when I know I can trust my team.
Yeah, absolutely, and something that you guys have worked on and developed, a long time coming is that trust and that development together. Well, Lynn, thank you so much for your time up here. I appreciate it. I know we don't get you up here very much, so I really appreciate you coming up and answering some questions on the spot for us. So thank you so much, and go celebrate with your team after that hard-fought victory. And now, ladies and gentlemen, one of my best friends, the GOAT himself. Some would call him the mastermind. I would call him the maestro. Coach
What's
Ben,
going
ladies and
on,
gentlemen.
everybody? How are we doing tonight?
Coach Ben, just what's going through your mind? 14-12 to close out
wow.
that battle.
You know, it was definitely reverse of my expectations. You know, I kind of expected us to absolutely dominate on defense and, struggle a little bit on attack because that's what we saw during the semifinals, That is exactly how the game went with Affinity. But we completely flipped the script around, played a bit rough on defense, but we see a little bit more of an aggressive comp coming out. Double smoke. We have one sentinel. We got our initiator, and we got our duelist. So definitely a more aggressive comp. We see an easier push site, and it just works really well with Eevee with Fade because those smokes cover what we need to cover, and the Fade Eye covers that. But yeah, the 14-12 going to OT with a team like that and winning feels pretty great.
And we saw there, I was able to overhear that second timeout, what you were telling that team. That first timeout when you guys were down, I think it was like 4-1 or 5-1. What are you telling your team to make sure that they are cool, they're calm, and they're putting these rounds behind them and looking
For sure.
forward?
It's kind of just reminding them of what they already know. And I think kind of in the moment when you're losing pretty bad, you kind of start to forget those things. So that timeout was crucial and kind of just reminding the team of, what we need to work on, what needs to be changed and fixed. The biggest thing at the beginning was just our aim. We were moving around a lot while shooting. Bullets are kind of getting flown everywhere. We're spraying. That was kind of the big thing. The second big thing was, our positioning and playing for trades. And we needed to remind the players that this is the whole point of how we're going to beat a team like this that play phenomenal, play very, very good. Went to finals for a Div 3 team. So, playing trades is going to be crucial, especially with a higher ranked team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you guys really showed it. You guys have kind of struggled, as you said, on the attack side before. We saw a much different attack comp. We saw a lot of different changes in comp overall. And I think the change that I want to highlight the most is we saw Evan take over as IGL. Talk me a little bit through about that process and what went into that decision.
Yeah, so, at the beginning, we really wanted Eevee to kind of develop the IGL role because she just has that leadership in her. I think with Evan, working on the stuff that we've gone over and, spending hours upon hours upon hours in the game and gaining the knowledge to become an IGL. And, weeks prior, we kind of gave him some practice to be an IGL, give him free range to kind of lead the pack. And, today it just shined through. He said, you know what, coach, I'm going to take over. I'm going to help lead this team to victory. Comms immediately boosted. Positivity was flowing through the air. And, for his first time ever IGLing, especially in a division like this, he did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. And finally here, I just want to talk about, we talked about the storyline, we talked about the script. Luckily, me and you got to talk about that quite a bit before the match. How does it feel to know that you beat this team that you lost to semifinals in a grueling best-of-3 series?
It is awesome. Going up against them in semifinals and seeing how they play, they did a great job. I truly think that was definitely one of our worst days. And, we got to learn how to play through those worst days. And today, I think it was all about just coming back and proving that we are a team that can beat teams that are higher ranked than us and, compete at a high level going to finals. And, once everything like that was set in stone, it was golden from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time up here, Coach Ben.
Thank you.
Let you get back to your team, celebrate with them. I know they're looking forward to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that excuse me, I'm just so lost for words, but that is going to be it from us here at Valhalla and Camp Hill. I'm feeling the emotion. I know all those guys are feeling the emotion. It feels good to not only be able to see this, to be able to cheer them on and be able to watch these styles of matches. So, again, from myself, Coach Christian, from Coach Ben, from everybody else here at Valhalla and Camp Hill, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on Monday for some Fortnite. Good night, everybody.